Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I got rank 1 in the last tournament of Power Season, which make it my 5th ever champion title and my first in the new format. I'm very happy about this one because this new format is heavily dependent on the new summonable unit, and as you might know, I try to mainly summon only on regen and DB characters. So this was really my first real chance to get it, and probably my only real one for a long time, so I tried my best to achieve that. Now to celebrate, I made a complete TOP guide that I was planning for a couple of weeks, and I was going to make it available in the next few days. But since we have this occasion, I will regroup all the information in today's video, and it's gonna have everything from positioning, targeting, team speed, and more to increase your TOP knowledge. Other than that, some asked me to record the replays of my fights for my rank 1, of course, and I did it yesterday. I wasn't planning a gameplay video at all, so it is just an unlisted video. There is no commentary, just replays and raw footage. If you are interested, you can watch it, it's in the description, but it's not really that interesting, just some fight replays. Finally, thank you all for the supportive messages over the last few days. I read all of them in Twitter, YouTube, Discord. I appreciate it a lot. And enough rambling from my part. Without further ado, let's get into the complete TOP guide video. To start with, we have our own 6x6 grid. It's where we're going to take or put our character during a battle, and it's the main characters, not the one on the bench. The bench character will not affect a fight per se if you do not take them. Of course, they're important because sometimes you want to switch colors, save supers, or maybe someone is low HP and you want to put him in the bench for a given battle. And overall, they are pretty useful, but during a fight, only the 6 you will take in the main team are gonna be affecting that fight. Now, where you put your character is very important, and especially the line where you put them. Each line is crucial. You're gonna have the top row, the middle row, and the bottom row. They are all important and they're all having their own specifics. The game gives you some explanation, but I don't think it's enough. They are even misleading sometimes. To start with, the top row, they tell you that it gives you 10% damage guard. So you might think 10% damage guard will increase my defenses, so I should put my low HP character in the top row or my EX and low star. But in fact, it's the opposite, and do not do that because it's a huge mistake. Now, what does the top row do? Let me give you a small summary. We will go in detail about it a little bit later on. But in general, characters in that front line will be the ones targeted most time by the enemy, and I'm talking about 90% or even sometimes all attacks from the enemy team will be targeted to your top row unit, so they will be the ones that will take hit. Now, is that a bad thing? Not at all, because you can use it to your advantage, and for example, you can put high star characters, Zenkais in that top row, they will take the damage, and all your characters in your middle and bottom row will be safe and they will take no damage. So if you have a low star character, you can put them in the lower lines, and in your top row you can put some shields, I would say. You can also use it where you can make your enemy aim type disadvantage attacks into you. So for example, if the enemy have 2 yellow units, you will take the 2 yellow units at the end and put a red in the top row. The yellow units from the enemy, since they are taken at the end, they will be attacking the most, and all their attack will go to a red unit, and it's not going to be a lot of damage, and it's a really important and strategic thing. Now, the game tells you it gives you extra damage guard, but in reality, it's going to be the characters that will take the most damage, but this is not a bad thing specifically. Moving on to the middle row, the game tells you that you get 30% damage and 20% key recovery, which is true. But what does this mean? Basically, the middle row characters are gonna be the fastest and the ones that will do the most damage. I would advise you to always have three characters in the middle. What characters can you put in the middle? I would advise you ones that are protecting your top row. For example, if we put reds in the top because we wanted to take yellows at the end from the enemy team to shield us, I would advise you to put a green in the middle row to eliminate any annoying blue unit from your enemy so your top row reds are protected. I will go more in depth later on in the middle row section, so do not worry too much if you didn't understand it. But basically, the middle row is your firepower, your characters that will do the most damage, and the three fastest in your team. Let's move on to the in-game explanation for the back row, and they tell you just it gives you 20% charge rate, which is correct, and that means that your characters will charge their super faster, but they will not be the fastest. The fastest character that will charge supers will be the front row because they will get attacked the most, and getting attacked will charge your super too, and it's going to be more impactful than the 20% charge rate. But regardless, it's not a bad thing. Now, what do we use the bottom row for? And it's used for healing and safety. Basically, your bottom row character will never get attacked if your middle row and top row have at least one character on them. They will be safe in the bottom, they will be protected, so you can put your low star character, EXs that are boosted in the bottom row, and they will be never threatened as long as you have someone in the middle and top row. If you have only character in the middle row and your top row is empty, your bottom character have a low chance to get attacked, but it's not that often. If a character doesn't get attacked at all, they will heal around 10 to 14% HP at the end of a fight. So if someone is low HP for you, you put him a lot of time in the top row, you can reverse him for a fight or two in the bottom, he will heal and put him back later on. And all three rows have their own importance for your character positioning and targeting. Now let's get into details for each, and we're going to start with the top row. Like I said, characters on it will take hits and tank for you. So you're gonna put high star character, high HP and Zenkais on there. And I would advise you to put characters of the same color. So if you are putting a blue in the top row, just put that blue on his own, or put a second blue with him to help him take damage. I would advise you to not mix colors in the top row, and that's very important because you're gonna take one or two character at the end in terms of targeting for your enemies like 5 and 6, and they need to be one color and they need to be type disadvantage to your top row. So for example, if you take greens at the end as 5 and 6, you need to put purples in the top row, and you cannot mix another color because it will be type neutral. Another thing, let's say you put a purple in the top row. The enemy must have only one type advantage versus purple maximum, so only one yellow max. If you put greens at the top row, the enemy need to have only one purple max, and so on. If they have more than one, maybe change your strategy, change who are going to take last, and put someone else in the top row. Why do I say you need to have only one enemy that can go type advantage versus your top row? Because they will get attacked for sure, and you cannot eliminate two enemy at once of the same color most of the time. And if you have two, one type advantage attack will go into them. And now, if you have only one, it's very easy to take him out. So for example, if you have purples in the top row and you have only one yellow enemy, what you're gonna do is you're gonna use your middle row to attack that yellow enemy. The middle row have the three fastest and three most damaging unit, since they will have 30% damage and 20% key recovery. And let's say you've put purples in the top row, there is one yellow enemy. I would advise you to target that yellow first, and your middle row character will attack him. So, one yellow that you are attack first, if you can have a red in the middle, it would be great because you're gonna attack him super fast. Now, if there is no enemy threatening your top row, so there is no yellow, what you're gonna do is take any one type disadvantage, versus your characters you put in the middle row. If you put like greens in the middle, I would advise you to take a blue enemy first. Just a reminder, always have 3 characters in the middle row. It's the only row that you must fill every fight because you're gonna need that damage to full KO the enemies, and you're gonna get most damage from that middle line. That's all for the middle row, and we move on to the last one, and it's gonna be the bottom. These characters, like I said before, are gonna be the one that will be protected, healing, or staying in a safety area because they will never get attacked if you have characters in the top row and middle row, and they might have a low chance to get attacked if there is only characters in the middle row, of course. This is where you're gonna put your EXs, low star boost unit, and so on, and they will be safe and never get attacked. And to illustrate that, I made a full gameplay video going a complete TOP run with a 0-star Tamagami. I've put him in the bottom row most of the time and he lost no HP. We survived all the way, and that way we used his boost because he was the highest boosted that season, and we had the chance to use him all the fights, no problem. If you want to watch that video, it's gonna be in the description, and it will show you that you can use a 0-star or low star character the entire TOP run and he won't lose HP. Another use for the bottom row is healing. Sometimes you put your high star or Zenkai characters a lot of times in the top row. They dropped in HP below 15% and you want to heal them. So you're gonna put them in the bottom row and put someone else in the top row. That way you're gonna heal your characters and maybe they will be ready to go to the top row again. You can heal around 10 to 15% at the end of each fight. Let's put back the summary for all 3. I hope you understood what every row is gonna do and what are the specifics. For targeting tips, I'm gonna combine all the information we got and explain to you how you can target roughly. But do not worry too much if you do not understand fully. In my walkthrough videos, every fight I give you targeting tips. I'll show you how I target myself. So if you are confused, that's fine. You have the gameplay video every season. I will show you how I target with my team, and I will give you explanation for every targeting and positioning of my characters. Now, for the targeting itself, we talked about the top row, and what you need to do is determine what characters you are going to take last at the beginning. You're not gonna talk about the character you're gonna take first, but the ones that you are going to take last, so you will know which character you're gonna put in the top row. What you need is take any character that will go type disadvantage versus your top row character, and your top row character must have maximum 1 enemy that can go type advantage versus him. For example, you want to take 2 green at the end, so 5 and 6, you must have 1 or 2 purple in the top row, and the enemy must have 1 yellow maximum. Next, you're gonna put characters in your middle row, and you're gonna target first whatever enemy is type advantage versus your top row. So if we put purples in the top, yellows are type advantage versus my top row. So we're gonna take yellows first, and if possible have 1 red in the middle, so you can attack in type advantage. If there is no one threatening your top row, so there is no yellow at all, you can just take whatever is type disadvantage versus your middle row character. If you put greens in the middle, you can take out a blue first, of course. Finally, you're gonna have characters from 2 to 4 remaining, and them characters will be situational on who you will target from 2 to 4. I would advise you to take third any character that is a type advantage or disadvantage, sorry, versus your middle row, because you're gonna eliminate, for example, the first character with your middle row. Character outside the middle row will attack the second, and third you're gonna go to the middle row again, or you're gonna take second whatever character it type disadvantage versus your other middle row character outside the top. So if, for example, you put a blue in the bottom row, you can take a red enemy second. Now 2 to 4 is a little bit more complicated and situational, and it's hard to explain it, but as long as you know who you take first, 6 and 5th, you should be fine. The 3 in the middle, and it shouldn't be too much trouble. And always you have the gameplay video if you are unsure about who to target, and you can refer to each season. Now I will give you an example later on how I would target and all, like a one by one step in this video. But before, let me talk about the speed of your team and attack order. So when your character attack within a turn, and how they attack, basically, like we know, 20% key recovery is added to the middle row character, so there will be the 3 fastest, which means the 3 character outside the middle row in the top and bottom will be the 3 slowest, and we're gonna have 2 trios of 3 fast unit and 3 slow unit. The next layer is to know who is the fastest among each trio, and very easy. If they have the same boost, just use the key recovery filter. The one that have the highest key recovery with the filter in game will be the fastest within your trio, like the 3 in the middle or 3 outside the middle. And the only exception is if characters have higher seasonal boost. For example, the newest character will have 5% more key than the others. He will be automatically the fastest in his trio, and the trio others you can use the key recovery filter. One last thing that can affect your key recovery are key tiles. Sometimes the game are gonna give you like extra boost tiles, and they will give 18% extra key, which is 2% less than the middle area. What I would advise is to avoid them if you have character outside the middle area and you have key tiles on them, because it will affect and mess up your order. If it's inside the middle line, you can use them, it's fine. Just remember the character on it will be the one that will attack first in your team, regardless of other people key in the middle or boost, because the boost is only 5%, the key type will give you 18%, plus the 20% from the middle is gonna be 38%. Now let me give you a step-by-step example on how to apply the targeting tips and how to use your team speed and order knowledge. So this is the team that I'm going to be using. I have 2 red units, 2 blue units, 1 green, 1 purple, and 2 yellow. Of course, I've put them on the right hand side so you can remember what I have in my team. Remember, no kits in the new TOP format, it's just stud and colors. We will be facing this fight that has double blue and double green with 1 yellow and 1 purple. First of all, we're gonna determine who we will put in the top row, and since the enemy has double blue and has double green too, I'm gonna either put a purple or a green unit in the top row. In this fight, I opted to go with the purple, and he's gonna be the one that will tank all the damage, which means the 2 character type disadvantage to him will go last, and they will target them 5 and 6. Now, our purple is weak to yellow enemies, so we're gonna need a red in the middle row to deal with him. The yellow is gonna go first, and the 2 greens are gonna go 5 and 6. What's left is the 2 blue and purple that will be going between 2 to 4. I'm going to go with the blue second because my red is gonna be attacking among the 3 fastest, and that means they will not attack a blue end of turn, which is type disadvantage damage. If I took a blue third, my red will attack him type disadvantage start of turn 2. Therefore, I'm gonna take him second, and that's why I'm gonna put a green in the bottom row, and that green is gonna be attacking among the 3 slowest, and hopefully is gonna attack the blue. Third is gonna be a purple, and that's why I'm gonna put two yellow in the middle area. I could have put only one yellow and I put a second red if possible, but since the enemy has two blues, there is a chance one of the blue will attack the middle area. Remember, there is around a 10% chance, so two yellow is better, and there is no red enemy at all, so they will be safe regardless. Final spot, we have only one left. We can either put a blue or a red, and since we are attacking a blue second, so late turn 1, and a blue fourth, which means late turn 2, we're gonna need someone that will go at least type neutral, which discard the red, and therefore we're gonna take a blue as our last character, and he's gonna go in the bottom, not the top, because the top we need only our purple to get attacked. If we put our blue in the top area, the greens will attack him and it will be type disadvantage damage. Now for the targeting, I'm gonna put the picture here, and of course, since our purple in the top row, we're going to take the two greens at the end, so they attack him does type disadvantage as much as possible. We're gonna target the yellow enemy first because he's a threat to our top row character, and that's why we have a red in the middle, so he can go type advantage versus him. Now, if you do not have a red in your team, what I would advise you is just put three type neutral character versus the yellow, and 3 to 4 attacks should do the job and eliminate him before he attacks regardless. After that, I'm gonna take the blue second. I opted for the Champa. Now my character outside the middle row will not have extra damage inflicted, so I thought the EX would be easier to eliminate than the sparking within 3 attacks. Then at the end what we did is took the purple because our yellow's attack start of turn 2 and we have only one blue left, which by default go fourth. Now let's see the replay for the fight and how it went. What we are expecting is the bottom row will not get attacked, top row will get attacked most, and the middle maybe couple of times. Now we start by eliminating the yellow, of course, so he doesn't attack my purple, and we move on to the blue unit. Now that blue character, we eliminated him, but there might have been a chance we couldn't have eliminated him if my character weren't art boosted. But regardless, you would have eliminated him by start of turn 2. Now, as we saw here, my red Buhan got attacked once in the middle, and purple Boo took all the attacks until now. Yellow Kid Boo also got attacked once, which is okay, but most of the enemy attacks are targeted to the purple. If we had two in the top row, it would have increased the chance of my top row getting attacked and decreased the chance of my middle row getting attacked. Now let's get back to the other screen. This last part of the video, I will give you some extra useful information you need to know for the TOP. It's going to be a little bit lighter than the targeting and positioning section. To start with, any character that has 97% gauge, so the yellow bar below your HP will super turn 1. I would say 92% or higher, they will super for sure turn 2. And 85% or higher, they might super turn 3. But the turn 1 is the most important because you can use it to snipe character and have a blue card ready. And remember, 97% is the magical number. You have the upgrade special move and upgrade charge rate up tiles that the game offer you, and I will explain you the difference between both. The increase to special move damage is the upgrade special move, so your damage for blue card and ultimate will increase by 40%, and the charge rate will make your gauge charge faster than usual, 18% faster, not 18% extra, but 18% faster. For example, if you were meant to charge 10% gauge, you will charge 11.8%. You have the sustained damage cut. This is a tile that makes your character tank a little bit better. It's not important in the bottom row because they will never get attacked. In the middle row, it has a little bit of importance. But if you have it in the top row, I would really advise you to put character on it because they will get attacked all the time and extra damage cut will be great. HP restore up is pretty simple. Your character will heal 18% more than the usual. You're gonna have strike damage up, blast damage up, and inflicted damage up. It's all the same, but the strike and blast are specific to strike and blast, of course, and inflicted damage will uh, regroup everything. You have key recovery up. We talk about it a little bit later, a little bit earlier, sorry, in the speed and order section. And what I would advise you is to not put characters on it if it's outside the middle line, but you can put characters on it if it's in the middle line. And remember, someone on it in the middle line will be the fastest in your team because they will get 18% extra key recovery. And finally, the boost tile that we have remaining is the crit rate up, and your character will have 18% extra chances to crit. It's not guaranteed crit, it's just you have extra chances. The next useful information to know is the character attacking art. Make sure you have the correct one. You can check the character's stats in game and change it to the highest offensive art. I would advise you to check support and defense type unit character. However, defense type unit character, if it's really close, keep it strike because of the gold equipment that gives you extra base strike attack. Talking about equipment, here is the template. Farm 8 of the car equip and clash equip. They're very important. They're the best equip in the game. And then the third equip you're gonna need is the gold one, depending on the type of character. You really don't need silver's equip at all, unless your character is below 7 star, because the clash equip require your characters to be at least 7 star, or you have a defensive type character that has a lot of blast attack. You might need some silver equips that give you blast attack, but in general it doesn't matter. I would just advise you to farm 8 of each of the car and the clash equip in the top, and the third equip just the gold that match the typing of the character. If you want to know why we should use the top two equipment, the car one and clash one, every time we can, and why HP is so important and maybe the most important stat in TOP, because it directly affects your battle point and how points are calculated. Check out this video on screen. I go in detail around battle point, HP, and the different equipment you can use. Next, we are going to look at friendship, which in theory can increase your stat by 5% if it's rank 10, 0.5 for each rank. It will make your character faster, do a little bit more damage, and they are a little bit more tanky. But this is not as important as the old TOP. If you can get friendship, nice, it's fine. But if you do not, it's not gonna be that handicapping, because if your characters are low star and have low defense, you can protect them with the bottom row. Extra damage is not going to be that impactful. Extra defensive stat neither. For the key recovery, it's irrelevant now because your character gets boost from the featured boost every season. They will be faster than the enemies regardless. In terms of art boost, heavy attack work, but art boost is not necessary at all for the 1k CC as long as you target and position well, plus have the required boost unit. Finally, we're gonna have the win streak. The win streak bonus increases drastically uh, at the end of the TOP run. As you can see here, in fight number 12 we have 600%, but from fight 1 to 4 you still are at 20%. So I would advise you to keep your character healthy for the last 3 to 5 fights. Finally, for the best route boost characters and team building is changing from season to season. It's not the same every season. And what I would advise you is to check the guide video that I release at the start of every season. I try to do it as soon as I can, so the first day or the second day at most, so Wednesday or Thursday after the TOP reset. You will have the best route to take, my own team, the tier list for the best boosted characters, and some enemy abilities. Make sure to double check you are looking at the correct season. You have a number next to each guide on the thumbnail and in the title, of course. We move on to enemy abilities. There isn't too many, but there is a couple that you might want to know. Transformation, there is 4 types actually, not 3. You have the permanent transformation. Characters that have permanent transformation in PvP will also have it permanent in TOP, but they transform turn 2. And usually you want to attack them first, eliminate them quickly before they do that, and get extra stat. Temporary transformation character will transform turn 1 and de-transform turn 3. You can take them later if you want when they de-transform, it's up to you. Synchro grade character like Fusing Super Vegito, Fusing Gogeta Blue, they will transform turn 3, and I would advise you to attack them first or second if possible so they die before they transform. And finally you have Revival and Succession character. They will revive or get a second life when they reach 0% HP. They also revive with 50% HP, not full bar, and I would advise you to take them last because they take longer to eliminate. We have tag characters too. They start with their own main color turn 1, and they will tag to the alt color turn 2, and come back to the main turn 3, and tag to the alt again turn 4. For synchro gauge tag character, they will only tag once and it's turn 2, and they will transform turn 3, of course, like we mentioned before. Now, if you are confused and don't know how all this stuff works, don't worry. Every season I will give you a small summary for abilities for every fight, and I will make it available on the route video, of course. Also, it's gonna be on the walkthrough videos. So every season on the walkthrough videos, you will find next to each fight the abilities of the enemies, plus my own advice. So every weekend on Sunday, usually a couple of days after the TOP reset, I will drop my gameplay. You're gonna have all the tips, ability from enemies, and targeting plus positioning from myself if you didn't understand everything from today. Final thing, that's for people that watch all the way, let me give you some tips to get rank 1 or high rank in general. This will be very competitive and people will use any advantage possible to get rank 1, so you need to go all out if you need it. Also, you need to know all the information that I grouped in the video before: targeting, positioning, equipment, and all, because every micromanagement is gonna add up. Now, in terms of characters, you need all the maximum boost in your team. You need the new character if it's the highest boosted. You need your tier 2 characters if there is tier 2 characters, because you're gonna have dozens of people that already have them. If you do not have that, you cannot compete for rank 1. Then you're gonna need also all the relevant Zenkais. Zenkais have higher HP pools, and because the HP is higher, what's gonna happen is your team battle score, battle point, is gonna be naturally higher than the others. You will lose less percentage HP. For example, if you have a 2.8 million unit times 6, you're gonna lose less percentage HP than having 6 characters that have 2.4 million HP. Now, all characters must be high star logically. Even the new character, I would advise red 2 or higher. And the most annoying thing is to have max R boosted on your my offense on all your character. And honestly, you might also need 99 defense, especially for the characters that you are planning to put in the top row. The characters that you are not planning to put in the top row a lot of time, maybe they don't need it. But yeah, if your character is blast based, make sure your blast is 99 for them heavy attack. Other than that, you must position your character correctly, like I said. And when you do your first attempt and finish it, try to rewatch gameplays and improve on your mistake on your second attempt, because that will give you a little edge, and 2 attempts are great for this. That's in general all my tips for rank 1. If you cannot meet the requirements, don't bother, just get the 1 KCC. Especially the art boost, don't waste your resources if your characters are not high star, if you do not have the maximum boost, because it's gonna be pretty much useless. Same thing if you do not have the relevant Zenkais, or like if you're missing one, it's fine, but if you're missing 2-3 Zenkais that are relevant that season, you're probably gonna struggle. And of course, you need to plan super well. Do not copy paste people targeting. You need to think how to target by yourself, because every situation is going to be different. Also, at the end, of the run in the last 3 fights or so, try to save some supers like beforehand. Fight 8, 9, 10. Try to save supers for fight 11, 12, 13. Or sorry, 7, 8, 9 for 10, 11, 12. And like that, you can eliminate enemy quicker when the win streak is higher and you get more points. That's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, guys. I gave you all the information possible for this new TOP format. If you have any question, let me know in the comment. Have a good one and goodbye.